What is up, everybody? It's me, RDV, and here with Geekeasy. We're kicking off doing our best comic books of the week tonight on 9/11. Still a day that everyone should always remember. And like I said, it's a horrible, horrible event. We had a horrible tragedy yesterday with the death of Charlie Kirk, RIP. It said it was a very emotional day, and the fact that it kicked off before 9/11 on top of this builds onto it. And just, if you're in a bad mood and you want a distraction, we're here for you. We'll talk about comic books. I'll try to keep it on that. But yeah, it's just prayers to his family and everyone else, and still to people who are just still affected by 9/11. I'm sure there's people who are just missing their loved ones still. It never goes away. But that being said, we're just going to jump right in here. I'm going to start showing off the books. I got about 10 books today, and Easy, you got 10 books too as well?
I got 12.
12? Okay. So we'll be here for about...
I've got two of these too.
I think we'll do... Well, you got the voyeur one?
No, it's just an ask. It's just an ask.
I know, but it's funny that you held that up because I was talking to the guy that was in the shop, and he's like, he had in the front. He's like, he's like, look at it. He's like, holy shit, maybe I should have this out there for the kids to take. It's free.
Yeah.
And he's like, voyeur. He's like, look at it, like, I don't know, maybe I should keep this behind the counter. This is
well, there's only one. We'll get to this a little later, but there's only one part in there that you might be sitting there going, they don't really show anything, but it's like really heavily implied. I'll get to that when we do my stuff.
Nothing worse than what they're seeing in schools today.
No, but actually, it does sound like a pretty kind of. I'll talk about it when When
it just sounds like a parody. It's like you'd have Star Trek voyeur.
Yeah, you'd think, but it's not. There's some really weird people behind this, and
right,
and yeah.
All right, I get this going here. All right. My number 10 for this week is a book that I've been enjoying a lot, and it's actually none of my books are bad this week. I just some have better stories than the other ones. That's all. Doesn't mean that their stories suck. That being said, number 10 is issue 5 of Supergirl. The reason this is kind of lower on my list because it's a filler issue, but it's not your typical filler. It addresses a situation from a previous issue where these kittens got at the end of the issue. The kittens got into this this kind of nasty substance, and it gives them powers. So basically it starts off with you're gonna have what's her name? Supergirl and Laura. I can't remember what her name is. Laurel or something like that.
Other chick is what I call her.
Other Supergirl chick, with a science girl, whatever. They're gonna go train in Metropolis. So they say like, okay, Crypto, should you be a good dog? You Streaky, you behave, and then the rabbit. So then after they're gone, they quickly, because Leno's supposed to look after them, they leave. So it's kind of classic, trope, where you're stuck to babysit, and all of a sudden the kids are gone. What the heck? It's like everything's fine. Don't worry about it. So basically it's from their point of view. So it's kind of cool. Crypto's getting his own spotlight along with the rabbit, and then Streaky gets it too, and also a little Titano, what they had shrunk down earlier. They're like the little Legion of Super Pets. And as they're going through, the shark lady from the previous issues comes back. Oh, my revenge of Supergirl, and then they just make quick of just she's done. The pets take her down. And the weird thing about this, the Crypto and the rabbit cannot communicate with each other, but they have inner monologue, inner thoughts, bubbles that pop up. But eventually, they come to work together. Crypto thinks they're just playing. The rabbit was like, "Oh, my owner, we were villains once. Am I still a villains with him? Should I be villains?" And Crypto ends up saving her from the shark thing. And after that, Shikai's like, you know what? Yeah, I guess I'll help him out this time. And they get together. They do a combo attack, taking down the shark lady, and and then but pretty much you're Crypto here, boy, Candy. It's they're looking for them, they came back. Supergirl came back, and they're looking for their pet stuff. But they notice that Streaky's gone. and Titano still relied on Streaky. I love this. It's like, and Titano has that personality where he is kind of like, he's like, I'm fine now that I'm small. Nobody is trying to kill me. Yay! And I love how like Streaky's like, well, I heard some meows of stress. Where they come from? And he's like, Tiny Tano, they leaped on my back, and in the last second, he's so annoying. A cooperation will last time, but well. So then they come across the cats. As I said before, these are the cats that had got into this goop that that Lena or not Lena, whatever the other girl name was, Laura Bell, or whatever, had basically brought in to that goth club. The kid got it, like that guy got a hold of it, then the mind goo. Well, some of it got left over, and the kids got involved in it. So then they all have power. So now it's Crypto has to go and try and stop them from wreaking havoc. And along the way, he gets help from Tiny Tannel, Tannel, whatever it is, and they end up basically working together. They decide basically Crypto being or not Crypto, but Streaky. He's like, dude, I know cats, kittens, little gorge, and then they'll puke it up, and that's what they do. They get so exhausted, and they end up, throwing up all that goop. So basically, yeah, they're cats, and they figured out how to solve it with cats. So they eat too much, they throw up. At the end of the day, they drop the cats off at the humanitarian, thing. The kids there, give them new homes, and then they run into Supergirl, and Supergirl ends up kind of fainting. Don't know why, but that's it. More will be explained in the next issue, but yeah. I thought it was a decent story for a filler. Obviously it's aimed more towards like girls. This is a girl book, girl theme, So it's a little girlish for me, but it's also here. If you're a little kid, if you're like 10 years old and you're reading this, it's cool. I like it. I said there's nothing in here that's offensive. All right. Now we're getting onto the offensive stuff. Number 9. Is Feral, issue 16. Do you recognize this Geekeasy? The poster? Oh, he's there. I think it's Staylog 17 was the name of the movie that they're doing the homage to. I don't know. If anybody watching the chat knows, wants to correct me, go ahead.
Sorry, I was away from the mic. It's an old horror movie. It looks like maybe Stalag 17.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Stalag 17. That's what it looked like when I first saw this.
Yeah, I was outside for a second. I was watching. I didn't get back in there before time to reply. But
yeah,
I never saw it, but
I never mind. But it's on Tubi. I'm free to watch. So basically, they're back at Pet City. And while Lord Fluffytons, or the kitten, they basically have broken the rules, and they're gonna basically punish his death. they're gonna use him as chow, and they're gonna feed him and feed off him, because that's what the cats do. The cats, the pet world, they explained after the owners left, there was nothing left, and they basically had they rely on Mother. Yeah, so they're in a cult. Mother is in charge of the big old fat cat. And they basically decided in order to survive here, these pet inside the pet world, is by basically nursing kittens, having kittens, and then eating them. Just disgusting, yeah. And then because they ran out of wet food. They have all the dry food, but they ran out of wet food, so they eat wet food and survive. And here's basically you have Elsie trying to make a case, that he's like, hey, he doesn't know any better. He's kind of crazy because I left him out, in the middle of the woods, and his brain broke. But as she learns, from Lord's new friend, is that Lord's actually, she says, Lord's actually incredibly smart. He does this for attention. He wants people to notice him. He's afraid of being left behind. And of course, Elsie's like, well, shit, that's my fault too, because I left him behind. He's afraid of that. So they're going to decide they're going to throw him inside the cage, they're going to eat him stuff. So at the end, I hear that the cats basically decide to, get together and break him out. and they're gonna do what they're not really supposed to do. They're gonna go open the door. So by turning the power on, the power switch, as you saw in the first page, I believe the first page, how they turn the switches off, and then they're gonna turn the switches back on in order to basically get escape, and they get caught, and that's all. He's like, "Don't you hit the switch?" He's like, "No." It's like, you guys caused this. We're going to. We can't live in this. So they open up. They turn the power back on. Turns the lights back on. Of course, this attracts all of the monsters out. Oh, basically the cats outside. They're all full of zombies. They're not zombies, but they're pretty much got rabies. So I love this how they turn the lights and oh shit, the jingle's back on. Thank you for choosing Petsy for all your care needs. We will be closing in 5 minutes. Ding dong. Whoosh, and the door opens up, and so now all the zombie cats are coming in, animal stuff, and they kind of leave you on this cliffhanger. Please make your final decisions and head for the checkout at this time. Because basically, when they shut down the shop, they shut it down right at closing, just before closing. So that's why it's playing that stuff, because they went to the close early. So it's all the automative stuff.
Is this ongoing?
Yes, ongoing.
Okay.
This is issue number 16 of that. It's gone longer than Stray Dogs. And as I said, I don't know how long this is going to keep going, but I'm loving this. This is basically The Walking Dead, but in cat form. And dogs, so really cool. All right. Number 8 is Aquaman. On issue number 9. I thought it was okay. Basically they with the help of, after having kind of like a funeral for Amara, he ends up leaving the blue, and he's not basically he's whatever happened to Arthur the last issue. He's now a god. He's able to navigate all of the blue, which is basically, if you remember from other comics, like the green is Swamp Thing, and then there's a couple other ones. There's like blue, yellow, and green, or red, or like the 4 color elementals of the universe stuff. So Arthur is able to navigate anything. If he hears something in the water, he can hear it from a distance away now and stuff. He can feel the vibrations, all that stuff. He's super powered. And they end up leaving.
Basically, they're doing a like a emotional spectrum of the color,
Kind of like where there's a Speed Force, and you could say like, is one of them, and then you also had the swamp, the green, which is the Swamp Thing's part of the life, and stuff. And now he's part of the blue. And so basically, they take the Nautilus, they go through, and they end up back on Earth, only to be where they learn Superman's been possessed by something. Something has possessed him, and the League's attempting to take him out, and then of course Aquaman pretty much stops him with one thing, and then basically expels the demon out of him. And they're like, and a lot of them in the League are like, how the heck did you go toe to toe with Superman? Because in this part, they've never been able to like do before, or Aquaman never has in this version of the Rebirth, I guess, whatever. But overall, there's a reunion with Lorelei and Superman, and everyone's kind of like, what's that about? Like, release a date. Yeah. Because that's his basically Arthur's daughter's with them, the grown-up version. And as they join, basically, they're back on the watchtower and stuff. He explains everything that's going on, and they basically give their condolences for the loss of Mary's life. And so now he's back, but he tells the Bruce, he's like, I understand, you're excited to see us, but we're not going to be your Justice League Blue. I have more important things than to be part of the Justice League, pretty much, kind of thing. It's like basically they want to run tests on him. We don't know what it could mean that whatever's inside him, the possessed. He said what it means is I can protect the ocean, truly protect the ocean. I can feel hurricanes before they happen. Hear the cries of someone swimming leagues away. It's good to see you, my friends, but I need to be down there with my daughter. My friend's my daughter. He's like, if you need me, just call. He's like, you know where to find me, And then you get to see him kind of looking at up in his part of the watchtower. It's basically everything he could not keep down in Atlantis because it's stuff that'd be destroyed, but crushed by pressure, or whatever. Basically, human stuff, necessities. And he basically takes a Norelco and gets rid of the beard. And I love it. Like they're like I love what Blue Beetle's like. He's like, what? Something's wrong. He's like, what? It's like something just basically just leaped out of the watchtower towards Earth. Are you kidding me? And I love it. It turns out Batman's not the only one who can do a rear entry from space into the Earth. And as he goes down there in the water, he sees old Atlantis. You know, he's like, remembers, yeah, all my people are dead or gone and stuff. So he's like, I have no reason to be here. But what you see here, and it's actually Adriana is being held by Mara. So this is the real his queen. He's like, your father has returned, you know, and they don't know why, but he couldn't see them. So who is the version that he's running around with? Who is the grown up Adriana, and the one and the Mara that died? Is he time traveling? Is this the? You know, I said this is the real one. Obviously, this must be the real version. But is the Adriana also not Adriana? Is that just a different version of her, or a different Earth, multiverse? Yes, DC. I don't know. But everybody who complained about, oh yeah, Jeremy Adams is an asshole. He killed Mara and all, blah blah blah. Well, guess what? He brought her back in like 3 issues, bro. So calm your britches. And Jackson's there too, you know. So
Hey, I have no control over whether my britches are calm or not. They have a will of their own.
well, you got depends on. So there's a difference. All right.
True.
Number 7. Transformers. Final issue of Jenny Warren Johnson's Transformers. But not the end of the series, because that issue, Barbara Kirkman takes over in issue 25 along with Dan Mora. Jorge Corona is still staying on. I don't know if he's gonna come back and Dan Mora's gonna be exclusively on here for all the issues, but Jorge Corona's coming back for the next issue, kind of to hand over the reins to the artist. But we get what we've been building up to for 24 issues. Optimus Prime versus Megatron. And it's just what you expect. All out, just insanity by Daniel Warren Johnson. Just doing all. And Jorge Corona is help with the art, bringing it to life. Megatron does what he normally would do. Oh, you care about the weaklings? So I'm gonna. It's your weakness, Prime. I'm gonna kill them. You know, and he's like, no, we can't do that. We must. He's like, we finished this here. Is Megatron? What's the matter, Prime? Fight me. He's like, all those humans. You can't. He's like, that's the problem with you. That's why you'll never save Cybertron. You can't make the hard choices. So, and I said, look at the art on this. It's just fun. Yeah. So whenever like I see like Zach says like, oh, I love Nick Dragotta on Absolute Batman. I look at this and I'll be like, Dragotta can't touch a candle. He can't even be in the same room or same state as Corona when it comes to art. This is what cool art looks like for me. He ends up impaling Optimus Prime on like a smokestack thing, and he's gonna like kill him. But then at the last minute, Prime is pretty much saved, because Starscream looks overhead and his memory comes back and remembers what his real name is, his real purpose before he was brainwashed by Megatron, his cult and stuff. So he can't do it. He can't pull the trigger to shoot Prime because he had to kill his friend the first time. That was what Megatron did him do, and he won't do it this time. So Megatron gets upset that he won't do it, and of course Starscream gets his head blown off by an Autobot. And at the as he's about to shoot him, he's saved by the new Autobot that was created by Daniel Warren Johnson, Jorge Corona. The one that was supposed to be like Carly's van. He was made from 3 other Autobots over on Cybertron. Those that remains, and basically they use this spark to forge them all into one new creation. So he comes and saves Optimus Prime. And at the end, you see Prime just beating the crap out of Megatron, and yeah, it's just at the end, kind of here we see that the Decepticons are retreating. You get to see Spike's dad talking about everything about remembering the day when he saw, his son, you know. Yeah, so Mr. Wiggly, and then his son Spike, is when he's born, and at the end of this, they learn that the Matrix is still there. Before there were problems with it was tainted, but whatever happened in the past couple of issues, it's basically the spark has come back, and it's all help, and you get to see kind of like just symbols between Spike and his dad and how they're pretty much the same person, and the Hope, and as it ends with not Megatron, but Optimus Prime. He's like, yeah, the light might be small, but it's mighty, and that kind of how it ends this issue. Kirkman's taken over with Dan Mora. I'm curious to see where they go from this, because they just had the big battle. Like, are they going to bring in, like, because obviously we got Unity happening over in Void Rivals. Is that the we're going to have Unicron? We're going to have all that stuff coming from the animated movie. I don't know. Number 6, Gotham by Gaslight: A League for Justice. Just a fun series. This is issue number, I believe, 4 or 3. No, it's 3. Basically left off with Lex Luthor freeing Zod from his basically not banishment, but his basically eternal sleep that was put in there by Ra's al Ghul, so he wouldn't take over the planet. They've been keeping him under magical stuff, and because Luthor his mechanics finding the kryptonite, was able to revive him, and basically squirms and pledges his allegiance to him, kind of like he did it in the Donner movie. John Constantine and Ra's al Ghul basically are like girls talking over now. They basically need to get help, because and they do this by basically going to the League eventually. But right now, we get to learn more about this Native American who is basically talking to Clark Kent, and talking about his he wants to know more about his past. And the guy basically tells him, he's like, because his name's Chief Black Condor. So I'm guessing this is the Condors, the Black Condors were back in the day. This is their version. Yeah, and he says all men have secrets. Well, why should it be otherwise in the spirit world? All I know is that from sky you came, and to the sky you must return. Because at this point, I'm not if that's supposed to be meaning another thing at all. But I know that in this version, Superman can't fly. He can only leap. They haven't shown him flying yet. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe he did. Can't remember.
I mean, that's the way he was originally. He was
yeah. So Clark visits his parents' graves, Martha and Jonathan Kent, and then Bruce pretty much talks to him and says, like, dude, hey, you may be Kryptonian, but you're a good person. You were raised here, and hang on to that. And here's the thing: you're not alone. He says, no man chooses his blown blood, nor may he be judged for it. But who can we choose to stand with? That, my friend, speaks volumes. And we go back, and we got Martian Manhunter, Macy, and Superman, and the rest of the League go to Michael Luthor's lab, and they find an underground, and they discover Jay Garrick has been in there. But they also discover that from the shadows comes Victor, Cyborg, aka through the help of basically with Cyborg and Martian Manhunter. They go into Jay Garrick's mind and basically make him say, "Hey, we understand you're trapped in here and stuff, but you need to make a choice. Are you going to be a being of pure energy, or are you going to be a being of matter, go back the way you were?" So he makes a choice, and Jay Garrick ends up joining the League. So they have Victor, and then they have Jay Garrick now. They also have Talia al Ghul, who also wants to work with them too, to also defeat Zod. So Bruce needs to go back. He needs to get he needs to get to Adam Strange, who has this information. Adam Strange is trying to get word to Bruce Wayne, a telegram stuff, but nope, they won't listen. They throw him out. Wonder Woman comes in and basically says, like, you're gonna help my friend, or I'm gonna beat the, because I just basically shows I just beat the shit out of your big bouncer guy. You threw him out. How about you pay my friend respect? Bruce goes back to Gotham. He's looking for. He comes in, and it says, "You intruder face death." And it turns out, I guess it must be. I'm not sure who the girl is. I think it might be Julia. I can't remember what it is. It's not Selena, but Alfred and this girl were basically fencing together. And then Talia threatens to kill her and stuff, and he keeps them together. And then, I guess, but she says, like, who is this woman? Have you revealed to her all our secrets? She's like, I'm Talia al Ghul of League of Shadows. Like, oh, the barbarians. A term used by the ignorant. And he's like, dude, quit fighting. And he goes down there. He's looking for the journal he had from Adam Strange and stuff. And it turns out it had been taken, of course. Well, we got took it. He believes it was Talia. Or not Talia, but Selena. So he goes into Selena's club, crashes through the window like he normally does. It's really cool. And he meets John Constantine, talking about, hey, we need to work together. And then until he realizes that he's like, dude, John, you're just a distraction because Selena's actually making her escape. And I love he's still got the grappling gun he shoots out, and he's able to chase after her. And yeah, it's just all these cool pages. They have him just basically chasing her through the bridge and all the buildings. And at the end, he's like, she's Selena's flirting with him, but then she falls. And she's like, "Huh, you're not gonna get this book." And he's like, "Nope, I'm gonna steal the book of the grappling hook." And that's kind of how it ends with a little bit with basically him, but. It's not him, but it's not Bruce taking it. It's actually Huntress. Huntress retrieves the book. Huntress is revealed to be Julie. So, yep. I think Julie is the girl that he was dating, the one with the fence. So basically, this Julie in this world, basically, she is a Huntress. Not Helena Bertinality or none of that stuff, or Helena Wayne. It's Julie. And she goes and leaves with Talia. Meanwhile, we go back to Luthor and Zod. He's looking. He wants to get access here, but Wonder Woman destroyed her tribe destroyed the access to the Phantom Zone, where I believe all his soldiers are right now. He wants to free them out of there. And of course, Superman shows up at the end with the League, and then this basically they're gonna fight Zod in the next issue. It's really cool. I said I really like this having it set back in the Western stuff. Need more of that. All right. Number 5 for me this week is Jimmy Palmiotti decided to put out a book for Dynamite. And his work, and the artist is done by Pascal Coano. That is Blue Falcon and Dynamite. This is the an origin story they're doing here.
I saw that, and I was thinking, do I want to pick it up? But I had already had enough to pick up this week.
Yeah,
and I was a little short on funds, so I passed.
So he's the Blue Falcon already, but he doesn't have Dynamite as a sidekick yet. Dynamite is just a rare dog at this point. And he has his nightmare about the city basically being on fire and stuff, and him basically having to go out there and fight. He's basically killing people. I was like, wow, this is really dark for him. He's killing people. He doesn't Dynamite or Blue Falcon doesn't hurt people, kill him. He's breaking people's bones stuff later on in the issue, but it really it's a dream he's had, And of course, you find out that he's got a girlfriend. It's really hot girl who basically works in the museum. He's on Dynamite. I'll never replace you, but that's his girlfriend there, and they pretty much kind of get a little bit of them flirting together. Sid Palmiotti always chooses the hot women in the books. I noticed that. He has no problem. He's like, you know what? We're gonna have a hot babe.
So he's not an editor at DC then?
No.
Okay.
No, he's not. He has a building, but he don't really say what he does in here. So far, they haven't really say what he is.
But the editors of DC make you so I can't draw good-looking, hot women that look like women.
Well, no, yeah, that's Marvel too. But anyway, getting back to this, basically, he's got this little microchip he got from his friend Rudy, who he hired on, and he still hasn't told him exactly what it's for, but he's like, thank you, and turns out this microchip is gonna basically able to help basically him fly. It's gonna help him with levitation on his belt. But there's this new dynamite lab and stuff, or not dynamite, but a Blue Falcon secret lair he has in his building now. Of course, we learned that Rudy's been compromised by a villain, basically wanted access to get into the building to rob Bradley. But as they're doing that, well, he's already up there. He's already been working on a thing. So I love this cool. He's like, so now he can fly. Takes that microchip in his belt. Oh, that was really cool. But as they're going back into the lab, Dynamite hears something. So they go in there, and as they're going through, and immediately you hear grr, and bang bang, and then literally Dynamite got shot. He's laying there. So that's where he loses it, and then he literally starts beating the shit out of people. I was like, oh my gosh. I think at one point a guy even gets his arm broken. He just loses it. Yeah, right here. He just snaps the guy's arm right in half. And at the end, it's pretty much him holding his dog. He's like, "Don't worry, buddy. No, I know. I won't gonna give up on you."
So they're basically making him more like Batman than they originally did.
Yep. And now he's gonna go in the lab. He's gonna go and save his life. That's how it ends. I mean, he kind of was in the Batman, not the Scooby-Doo team up. They had a team up with the Falcon, the Dynamite stuff.
It sounds like it's just kind of a spoof. He was supposed to be, I guess, a spoof of Batman to begin with.
Yeah.
And so they're just sort of making him a little bit closer to reality.
But he's not as dark and broody because he said, but when he gets angry though, it's all
a comedic spoof as opposed to a non-comedic spoof, whatever. If there's
he was Hanna-Barbera's Batman. That's what it felt like. Hanna-Barbera going to create a Batman kind of character, superhero stuff, so they decided to go with that. And they kept them very super friends, kind of PG Batman. But all right, number 4 is Batman Dark Patterns. New story here. This is part 1 of the Child of Fire. Literally, it starts off with this guy talking to all the people there, the characters from the past, the villains. Past stories. We got the Wounded Man, we got Scarface, and then we got the Red Hood gang. And the guy's just sitting there, and he lights the place on fire. Sits in there, and it's like, what the heck's going on? You see all the flame going, and you see this couple come out. They're like, well, what's going on? There's a fire over there, and literally, they see his face, and then they get pulled inside and burned. And so Batman at the last issue was wounded. He came home, he had been shot in the back. He basically has been in a coma or something like that, or at least knocked out for a while. So they've been finding the bat signal, but he's not there. Alfred's been checking on him. He's like, dude, you are sleeping, sir. You're not dead. And the reason this is higher up on my list, 2 more, is not because of a great story. Is the fact that this has Alfred in it. This is Alfred being Alfred. Alfred being a father, being a friend, being a supporter, an ally. Something that the Batman books are missing is Alfred. This Bruce and Alfred being together and stuff. Of course, because since Batman's not showing up, Gordon goes and talks to Firefly. And he shows him, it's like, someone's been going around and basically burning people up. Do you know about this at all? He says, what he said, he's like, what Gordon said, he said something. He said, okay, so basically starts out with Firefly saying, sometimes you can't see the ash for the air. And then he's like, tell me, Dalton, have you seen the fires up close? Would you describe the shape and color of the flames? Gordon's like, dude, Officer Dalton won't be working this block anymore, Linz. Though he might be joining you here at Blackgate and Penitentiary after his trial. He's like, oh, Commissioner Gordon, what a pleasure. He's like, we found correspondence he was smuggling for you. Makes for some very interesting reading, dear Firefly. A little crap in here just about Prometheus, something about made up history of Gotham. This stuff he says, this stuff you've been filling someone's head with. He's like, oh, and this. He basically tries to shake down Lance to see if he knows who the Firefly is. The new Firefly is, and Lance doesn't know. Bruce is kind of having a nightmare and stuff because he remember the last thing he was going to do after he finished was going to go after the coroner, like the guy who basically Dr. Sarika, who basically was helping him out. But it turns out that he worked at a body farm, and he snapped and burned the place down, and so now he's awake now. He's gonna go after that guy, but he doesn't know what's going on with the Firefly and all that stuff. The stuff burning, but he comes across Gordon is going into the morgue. He's going to, and basically someone left that for him there too, and so Gordon's now caught in the room. It's on fire. And he goes to use a fire extinguisher. Somebody had emptied it out, so he couldn't even use it. He's in a trap. He's going to burn to death. And this is the villain they're showing here. The guy's wearing this mask, wears a fireproof costume. He's just kind of standing there. And Gordon's like, dude, let me out. And he's basically much giving up hope. He's about to die. Smoke collision. Batman comes straight in through the window. Sky lights up and basically does saves him out of there. And they talk. He's like, and I love it. He's like, he was in there, but he ran. He's like, don't worry, we'll get him. He's like, how did you know? He's like, I didn't. He's like, I came for Sarika. Where's Sarika? Where's the doctor? He's like, the journalist Nikki Harris told me Dr. Sarika fled the body farm in Florida after half of it burned down on his watch. A student died in the blaze. Then he came here and started working for us. He's like, dude, you were so great for assistance that you never questioned why you left, the first place. He's like, so Batman's like, call the fire department. I'm going to find him. He's like, dude, Batman, slow down. He's like, dude, what happened to you? You haven't been here. Like, the city has been burning up, Commissioner. But this fever, it's about to break. And we see the guy here and he's taking his mask off. He's, taking off his costume. Dr. Sarika has been taken hostage by the journalist. We don't know why, but he says, like, it's like, Doctor, my nick is Nick Harris. With my help, you'll draw the bat to the heart of the flame, and when he burns, he'll become much more than the flesh and blood. So, whatever reason, Nicky Harris wants to be the new Firefly or whatever he has been against the Batman. Don't know why, but yeah, he's just got obsession with that, and he's gonna bait Batman using the Doctor. This is part 1 of a 3 issue. I think there's only 12 issues, which kind of sucks. It's issue 10. Yeah. All right, number 3. And quickly, what's up, Summoner? What's up? Number 3 is Conan the Barbarian, issue 24. Jim Zub has been working on this. It's just awesome, proving that he is such a fantastic writer outside of Marvel and stuff. I guess, and I can't say Marvel, he was still a good writer. It's just that he was really watered down by the editors. There's certain things you can't not do with characters unless you have a certain checkbox, mark, checked, Anyway, the artist on here, they say the artist is well, the left is Dangino or Degino is the artist. But anyway, we left off in the last part of the story where basically Conan and Zula were basically inside this like demonic serpent city, and they all worship Set and stuff. And Conan was a slave, so that Zula helped him free him, and they're trying what they can to get out of there, sneak to the city, and they want to get their revenge. I said this beautiful art. Yes, this is great. As they go through, they have to kill some people. Conan says about, hey, he's like, for months, I've been killing people. It feels robotic. I love having the feel true of battle, being able to know that I'm killing for my own thing and it's survival. This is a real deal. The other one was just kind of like boring. So they go through this tunnel. They come across. I know. First I think I was like, holy shit, aliens! All the eggs and stuff. But it's not. Basically, it's a birthday chamber. And, yeah. These aren't sick. It's basically, it turns out these are people who've been crossbreeding snakes with man. So they're like freaking ancient evil stuff. You're not supposed to look at them because you'll be hypnotized. And of course, it's too late for Conan. He ends up looking at him, ends up seeing his deceased lover. the one that was killed. And for a moment, he's just distracted until Zula calls out to him, and then Conan does what he does best: lights the shit on fire and starts cutting him. Beating and they burn the whole entire dun doodle chamber down there. They leave, and then in the chaos, all the slaves are broken out, and they're fleeing, and so they're gonna blend in with them. Zula was supposed to help him because Zula wanted by revenge on the set of set worshippers. In exchange, he's supposed to help go in and free this girl. He came with the slave girl, and when he finally gets to see her, he's like, "Livia, are you there?" And then she's like, "I'm sorry, don't come any closer." It's like, "What is wrong?" He's like, "She's been brainwashed by the evil sorceress as revenge for what he did, humiliating her." So he tells her to sit there and smile, and then basically leave messages and then jump. I'm supposed to give you a message. It says, "You may escape my clutches this day, barbarian, but I swear we shall meet again, and when we do, I will shatter you as easily as I shatter this broken little whore you cared for." And of course, the girl jumps, and the second time in so many months, Conan has lost someone he loves, and hasn't been able to save him, and is just tearing apart. We see the sorceress bitch. She's the one that caused this mess. She's the one that originally took him, captured him and the girl and stuff, put him as slaves, and she's basically forced to go help clean up the mess that Conan created for them in the city part. Well, meanwhile, Conan decides he's not left for him. He leaves the city and sets out, and it's like a thin question mark. So basically, he's back to wandering again. So this has been a really fun series. I'm not a huge Conan fan, but I said, like, as far as the art in this, it's just exceptional. This is part 4 of the Nest Beneath. It's Fernando de Gino and Jim Zub. That's who are the creative team on this. So if you're looking for some cool Conan stuff that's like not like Marvel superhero stuff and still kind of like a barbarian, like if you like Conan the Barbarian the movie, it's the same tone as that. There's some humor, there's some love, sadness, revenge.
I'm assuming you mean the Arnold as opposed to the Momoa version.
Arnold, yes. What are you talking about? There isn't one other version.
There's the Momoa version.
It doesn't exist, bro.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going to. I just needed to make sure.
Yeah.
But you didn't see Momoa's butt in that one, man. Come on.
I'm good.
Okay, yeah, me too.
I don't need to see it. Number 2 is Redcoat. Wraparound cover. I almost went with the other cover, but I was like, dude, it has a wraparound cover? Why would I not go with the wraparound?
Yeah, I called this wrong. I thought this was your number 1, but I guess not.
No, my number 1 is something I didn't expect to be number 1. It's a new issue, came out this week, and I'll talk about that next. So Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch. The year is August 24th, 1814. So, and this is right when basically the White House was on fire, being burned down and stuff, and back then during the war, and he just happened to be in the wrong place, wrong time, like he always is. Someone invited him for some wine and some dinner, so he was in the back room, and then he smelled the folks of fire and stuff, and then all these Union soldiers are chasing him now, thinking he's the one that caused the fire, And he runs into the treasury. He ends up running into Madison's wife, President Madison's wife, and she wants to basically. She's like, "Where are you going, lady? You're going the wrong way. You're running into the fire. You're gonna die in there." And he chases her in there, and tries to get her out. He's like, "Dude, Turns out she wants to save the picture of George Washington. Keep it because it's like, why would you want that bloody thing? It's not just a painting. The painting. I won't let you. It said, "I won't let you torch it like you did the blue." He's like, "There was already a fire when I got here." She's like, "This iconic image must not be defiled." Yeah. It just it's just. So he helps her carry the painting out of there, and as they get out, they say they're going to go out and get it out of there, and then, of course, we get back to basically they run into basically these goons here, who were Admiral Cockburn, and it's basically Cockburn is a traitor to the crown and stuff. He basically he wants to return United States back to be in the colonial control and stuff. He wants, he doesn't want to be America. He wants it to be the colonials going back to Britain. So he's the one that actually started the fire and involved. And turns out, that basically he's going to try to pin it all on basically what's his name, Simon Pure, because he says like, what strange garb you have? Like, why? I was like, I haven't seen that since my. He's like, I haven't seen a uniform like that since I was a boy. If your goal is to infiltrate my men, you failed before you began. Who are you? He's like, I'm just a nobody. It's like, indeed you are nobody. And I love it how he says like, he's like, he's gonna kill him, and then she comes in and she basically punches him and says, we're not gonna be ruled by a crown bootlicker, and knocks him out. And then they end up escaping. Eventually they have the painting. The White House burns down. All historical, to actually the truth, with the White House actually being burned down during the war. They saved the painting and all that stuff. So then she's like, it's like he's like, she basically says like, she don't know what do you call her running after me in the fire? He's like, you're losing everything tonight. Building books record. But what are the paintings that all is left is what we're building or trying to build? So he's like, so it's a tribute to the past? No, a compass for the future. We swore we'd create because of him. The man lives on, not because he couldn't die, because he chose to carry. We chose to carry him for it. Remember his courage, his restraint, his flaws. Even he's like, flaws. So you do know, because he basically knows that George Washington's a psychopath immortal. He's like, no, what? He's like, oh, nothing. It's just musical immortality, like living forever. She says immortality isn't about living forever. It's about the impact you make lasting forever. It's about keeping how long you keep telling your story. So he says like, you risked your life for basically your story. He's like, no, I risked it for a better ending. So then as they part ways, we see this where the White House was, and there's this big portal opens up. It's George Washington. And saying how basically Simon Pure is almost messing things up. He needs to get rid of him. And then he's like, perhaps if I revealed myself, all this would be no, and then all this would end. But no, he's like, no, the unknown war buried beneath stars and stripes may still rise. Yet if Mr. Simon Pure insists on defiling the very blessings I help conjure, I'll be forced to act. God bless America. And it goes to today's White House. A little pain here, stuff. And everybody's looking at the picture of George Washington, and then we see like there's the Madam President and her son, and the son's like, "What's with the painting?" It's like, why is he dressed like a pirate? She's like, "Oh," and turns out, it says like one theory suggests he was an American spy that he was who infiltrated Admiral Cockburn's forces dressed as a redcoat. Others say he was cursed, unable to leave this country until he became what he claimed to be. And it says, as some say, Dolly just made the whole thing up to amuse herself. Firecracker, that one. All we can be sure of is that the president has walked this past, past this, and basically every president ever since has asked who was he, and the kid says, well, maybe it was just a British soldier who grew a conscience, And as she leaves, we see the boy kind of like. He says like, I like my theory best. It's like because she said, and then it shows it here. It says like, it's like, see you later, Redcoat. He calls him Redcoat. So the kid somehow knows who he is, or maybe it's just coincidence. But he says I knew, and so basically, turns out he got a painting on there for help because she said Dolly Madison basically she wanted to basically immortalize him. Because he said what he did was just as selfless as George Washington's. Because he said like a painting means nothing to me. It's like she's like you died and move on. But she says like you'll remember for what the things you do. So she got.
And I think it was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Was like
Yeah, something like that. The number one book of the week though. The one you're going to ask me what is the book of the week? Punisher, Red Band by This is Benjamin Percy and some guy named Ota. But anyway, I'm not sure what's going on in the Marvel world. All I know is that basically Punisher wakes up. He said he's got a bullet in the back of his skull. He's got bullets in his, in his shoulder. Doesn't know what his name is, but he knows all these other things. And he's lost a pint of blood. Everyone in here pretty much is dead. He knows feeling a gun here. He knows all the specs of it. He says this feels right. He says I know all this, but I don't even know my name. And he's on a boat. He looks around. He's like, oh, all these people are dead. It's like, but their bodies need no. And it says like these people are dead, and he's not. Their bodies mean no more to him than fish on a hold. But he's lost more than a liter of blood. He can feel his heart struggling, and his fingertips behind his eyes. The boat is burning, and his lungs are choked with smoke. He should not linger, but he needs to understand why he's here. At a glance, he guesses the boat carries 500 pounds bags of fentanyl powder. So basically, he just took out some pirates. He just got rid of the people who are shipping fentanyl into our country. Gee, didn't our government just do that?
Yeah, but this is written. I'm sure this was written well before that.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's kind of funny though. So with instinct, the cop, Harbor shows up, her police stuff. He shoots at them, and he says it says he shoots at them, but he shoots the spotlights, the splinters of hull, but he doesn't aim to kill. He just, even though they do, and he ends up just jumping off the boat into the water, and then he kind of like almost drowns, and then. Yeah, Julius Otto is the artist on this. And so the big players in here is going to have Kingpin and Tombstone in this as well. Are involved in this too. We're shown in a First Reformed Church in Queens, New York. We have this priest in here. He's like, "Oh, confess your sins," and then it turns out he's like, "Oh no, let's talk about you, Father O'Connor." It's like It's like, please reach me underneath your bench. He's like, who are you? Please reach me underneath your bench. Go underneath me under your bench. He's like, and then he holds a gun there. He's like, first, let me say, I admire your Catholic Church, very much. The commitment to disaster relief, flood assistance, healthcare, and social services truly is exceptional. A standard we should all aspire to. Unfortunately, whenever you're dealing with vulnerable populations, there's always someone lurking about who hopes to prey on them. And that certain psychopath is you, Father O'Connor. For the past 20 years, you've been using your position within international charities to traffic men, women, and children into this fair city, my city. So you see, Father, I'm not here to tell my sins. You are. And he's like, you've already delivered a portfolio of evidence of both to dioceses and the New York NYPD. He says you'll be arrested first thing tomorrow. Now you understand the gun. Think of it as a rosary. So, and then the priest basically shoots himself in the head. Is he praying for absolution? We get this. The cops now are looking at the bodies on they're left to burn recognition. They're figuring out who did this. None of them know it's a Punisher, But basically, they're kind of upset they left the click class. And the other thing that we found out, the cops are working for Tombstone. Tombstone is a nasty looking guy. I love how they draw him in here too. He's got a guy from all five different gangs who will all try to make a move on him. One of them, is a guy from Squid Games. What it looks like. He's got the green jumper suit and everything. And this is where it kind of gets kind of nasty. He's like, he says, I wanted to make something perfectly clear. You're not getting out of here alive. The best I can offer you is a quick death, which is better than the alternative, where I take you apart piece by piece. And when he does, right here, he starts chopping the guy. And, yeah. Meanwhile, Frank washes up on shore with his lady dog, and pretty much she, after he pukes, finds he's alive, he goes to her house to recuperate. And we get to see Frank, in the bathtub and everything, stripping his clothes off, all the different scars he has over his body. So, and he's like, dude, give me some, I need a thread and some vodka and a lighter and a tweezers, And of course, as we get to see Frank's naked body. There you go. You get to see his butt crack, bro. And he explains, like, I'm probably gonna pass on. I need to finish the job to finish something up. And of course, he ends up basically after taking the bullet out. he passes out. And then we get to see Kingpin pretty much going after people and just. I'm not sure if he's still Mayor Fisk in this point. That's how far gone I have a Marvel continuity. I mean, if he's just regular Big Kingpin and not, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one either.
Yeah. It says, "What do you have here?" It's a like when you look at the world from on high, or you can't help it but think it all belongs to you. Isn't that right, Council woman or City Councilwoman Ross? Maybe that's one of the reasons I thought it was okay for you to accept those bribes from the Russian estate. New York City is one of the largest economies in the world, but you've been busy sucking at its teeth, haven't you? Sucking and biting and thinking never to be blood. And he basically puts the Castro detail on her, little bottle, poured it all over, and then he basically doesn't kill. He basically, I guess he filled her mouth with it too, whatever, But New York won't be stained and compromised any longer. I, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, seeking to a personally. So I'm not sure if this is tying in with the Daredevil series. The TV show. Like, it seems like this might be a Mayor Fisk thing. Like I said, I don't know current Marvel because a lot of Marvel World sucks. So I kind of dipped out of it because the New Yorker writing, it's just boring. But Tombstone pretty much killed everybody. You see, there's a guy. There's the body, of course. That's why it's just sucking off the guts and stuff. Anyway, the meat grinder. He wants to know who basically. He wants to know who fucked him over. Frank wakes up. Bill Lay says, like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna go over your neck, but it looks like you already sewed up yourself." He's like, "What?" Turns out that someone's controlling him, and that person is Kingpin. He's put something in his brain to and he wants to, and he's gonna control Frank. Activate Punisher. So, really interested to see where this is gonna go. The Punisher being controlled by Wilson Fisk. The one thing I say, I do miss having Chicharito on interior art. I'll probably go back and read the Greg Rucka Chicharito run. I heard that's really good. The artist for this one, I thought he did pretty well. Let's see what his name is.
From what I hear, I haven't been paying a lot of attention, but I think they're trying to fix that last little run where they kind of
they're ignoring it.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, they're ignoring everything that Jason Aaron did because Jason Aaron is a crappy writer.
I think that also came down from the top too, because they wanted to get rid of the.
Yeah, but Jason Aaron doesn't need to have the top. The top lets him do whatever he wants. That's why he does things and butcher things. But Julius Oda is the artist in here, and I thought he did a really awesome job of this. I said, like, this is the Red Band. Obviously not for kids. This was $5. And I do recommend you guys check out if you're a Punisher fan. Punisher is back. This is awesome. This is a great Punisher. It's like we never had the Jason Aaron run. I love it. So, all right. That is my number 1 for this week. We'll go over to Geekeasy. And I'll finish my dinner.
All righty then. All right. Just a couple things I was thinking while you were doing this. One, Superman gets taken over an awful lot lately. I mean,
yep.
That just seems to be the trope. And what was that, Rose? Something about the Aquaman.
That was an Aquaman. We got turned over. An Aquaman now is a god. He's able to punch Superman. And this basically exercised the demon out of him.
Oh, but okay, yeah, there was. They said there was a thing up in the Watchtower that you said that he kept things up there that
he can't because they're not, they won't survive underwater.
Right. And you said he got his Norelco and stuff. How does he shave underwater?
He doesn't, as far as I know. If he does, he's got a knife and that's it. And he just the water and that's it. So
he has a special non-crushable underwater knife.
Well, he was shaving in the Watchtower.
Right, but how
was
he doing it beforehand?
Beforehand, he said he just used a knife, probably sharpen the knife, and that's it. He didn't use it shave cream.
Just me being weird in the head.
It's comics.
Yes. Okay, so I got two of the free little ass cans. I got that's kind of this, and I will go over the comic here in a second. I don't know why they released the ass can the same day that the comic was being released, but who knows? Okay, but then we have these are both by Ignition Press. And they have a little key as their little symbol.
Yep.
All right, so basically, this thing is written by Leah Williams. I'm not sure who that is, but so you got.
Wait, you don't know who Leah Williams is? Leah Williams just did the Power Girl series.
Did the what?
Power Girl. Where they called her Paige, or they called her Paige.
Oh, that horrible one.
Yeah.
Okay. One that I read like one issue and then stopped. Okay, so we get this thing of like watching some lady get off the thing, and it's no. I don't believe in love at first sight, but the moment I set eyes on Madeline Cabot for the first time, there are sirens in mine, both kinds. So he's got this dude who's like behind a big bank of cameras, who's watching her, and he's basically just being oddly enough, a voyeur. And so he's going to set up to be the creep, or he's keeping an eye on her, watching her. And at one point, and there's a reason why he said that the guy said that there was he should keep that away from the kids. Let's see if I can find it. At one point, he and then he breaks into her apartment. So there's all going to be about some creepy guy following some chick, and
In New York right now, happens all the time.
Yeah, it's happened up here a couple times too, I guess. But okay, then number 12, Cul-de-sac, number 2. I started to read it, and I don't remember enough of the first one in order to finish reading it, so I have to go back and reread number 1. But it's just the vampire kids investigating the deaths of their parents and all that. But it is kind of thick for a $5.99 book, but only the first half of it is the story. The rest of it is an advertisement for something new.
If the cul-de-sac itself isn't the giant like a hellmouth, you're kind of missing the point. That's what I want. I want the cul-de-sac to be actually alive, and they're sacrificing it to the cul-de-sac.
But it does have this really kind of weird art, but it is on newspaper. You can feel it. There's that texture and all that stuff of newspaper. So that's kind of neat. But I remember not being super impressed by the story and art last time, but I don't know why I picked it up. But number 11, Murder Podcast, number 1. I went into this not knowing anything about what was going on, but it's like, okay, it sounds like it might be a mystery. It's written by a guy named Jeremy Juan, Haun. Juan. And it starts out pretty kind of cool. You got this woman, she's listening to a murder podcast, and then finishes up, and she gets sent a new one that says Dead Sounds. She hadn't heard of, and she clicks it and starts listening to it, and they start talking about the story, and then you can see that she's just like, KKK, whatever.
Yeah.
But she's being taken over, and she went and goes ate shit on her husband, boyfriend, or whatever. You can see,
Wow.
You can see the virtual signaling here. White chick, blonde chick, boyfriend, and kills him. and then comes back to reality going, oh, gee, and she screams. But then you get together with a group of girls, sitting in a coffee shop talking.
One's got pink hair.
Yeah.
Is that a girl?
We'll get to her in a second. You can see, they have a breakdown of all the girls here, right? Nina, Ryder, 30, Renee.
You always seem to pick these books. These are the books I look at the title, I look at the cover, like, it doesn't sound interesting because the art does look bad.
Yeah, well, and then the pink hair woman.
Oh, it is a woman. I thought it was a dude first.
No, it's a woman. Josie, librarian, 32. Historian and archivist specializing in historic preservation.
Sure.
Insists that she has a good work-life balance. Does not. So anytime you see something talking about work-life balance, this whole thing is going to be screwed up.
Nope.
But I guess they're working. They do. One of them does a podcast and stuff like that. They're talking about it, and they're all quirky in some fashion. You got to have all these girls who are quirky and have their little things, right? And the little Asian woman, her name is Nina. She lived in Paris, writing cookbooks and articles on restaurants most of us never get to go to. So, but they're talking about the what do you call it? The podcast, and how this woman went and murdered somebody and all this stuff. And there's also a senator who is missing, or a state representative. And then you get Josie, the pink hair girl, who happens to be dating the detective who is, one, looking for the missing state representative, and two, happens to catch the case for the woman who went nuts and killed her boyfriend. Take a guess who this...
It was a white man, and he's got a manga cap on.
No, the detective, not the...
The detective. Oh, the detective is going to be a black woman, and she's going to say, it was a white guy that did it. Is she in a wheelchair?
No, they missed out on that one. So not only do they check 3 boxes. They got the pink hair, they got the lesbian, and it's a mixed race relationship. So that's 2.5.
I'm shocked.
The hair, you could go either way on that one. But then they just going back and forth, and then but they keep having them doing these little conversations on the phone, and it just, from where I was doing it, it was really hard to read. It's just really hard to read these things. I don't know why they keep insisting on doing it that way. Yeah, because it's it's the new thing now, I guess. But and then she gets attacked by somebody who is listening to the podcast, beating somebody up. And going back to your guess, you just got the hat wrong.
Oh man!
And of course,
well, the other one was in the wash. Okay.
Yeah, but he's I guess he's taken over from listening to the podcast or something like that. Second issue? No, not yet, dummy. EA. Ten.
Crazy.
Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion.
Is that Surge from the X-Men on the cover? Is he teaming up with Peach Momoko's X-Men?
Yes. I guess, and then also I guess Magic is in there too. I didn't finish reading it. It was just like, what the hell? It was bad. And I guess he finally finds her after dealing with some stuff and some people. And his next grand finale at the maker's doorstep or something. So I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get the next one just because gives a fuck. Seriously. Number 9. Nocturnals, The Sinister Path. And you can tell it's evil because it has a backwards S in it. I thought it would be kind of neat because it kind of a horror thing, and it's getting that time of year. I have the feeling these characters have been introduced before, or there might have been another, series with them in there and stuff like that.
Which one is that?
Nocturnals.
I've heard there's Nocturna, but I think Nocturnals has been around before.
This is a group where they do the occult stuff, and you're trying to figure out, because they keep talking about like they know everybody, supposed to know who all these people are. But I guess you have her. She's a kind of a mermaid or an underwater type thing, and she's kind of dealing with this guy, and they're forced back together because someone they know got killed, and so they're trying to come together and find out who killed him. And this one here, the one on the front, she is the daughter of a couple of them who can see ghosts and stuff like that. And
so Nocturnals, looks like Dan Barrett's hand created it. Those are from Malibu Comics, 1995.
Yeah, so I sort of got the feeling, but at the end, there is a thing on the back that tells who's who and kind of a history of it.
Yeah,
that's also another reason why I thought there might have been some stuff because
so
it's oddly specific.
1995. That's how long that they had 7 issues.
Wow.
Yep.
And I probably won't get it anymore because I don't want to try and go find the effort of hunting those stuff down and buying
six issues. But yeah, and then it was came out through Big Wow Art. Then there was another one, 2018 series, 2021 through Dark Horse. Did their own first one with them. That was 2021. And then Pony Press had about a couple of issues. And Image before that, you had Image. They did a couple. Carnival Beasts. So I said this is the latest one. So they kind of bouncing around between Dark Horse, Oni Press, ever since Malibu. So it looks like they're gonna have another 4-issue miniseries coming out in October. Or December.
This is 1 of 4 right here. Might have just
So that's a Sinister Path, and then it says I guess they're gonna have a Halloween trick or treat version coming out.
Okay, I don't know. Okay,
either way though, it's cool to see a Malibu property still around that's being used because a lot of Malibu has been shelved by Marvel.
Yeah, of course, keep the competition down. Stuff like that. Number 8. I didn't put it anywhere near as high as you did, just because the art was really pissing me off.
What do you mean? That was my number 10.
Okay, so I guess mine is a little higher.
Mine was just the story. It was kind of fluff, but I like the fact that it kept I tied up a loose end.
Yeah. Okay, but here, I wasn't paying much attention to that. The thing that gets me, and this is just being me, who probably figured this stuff out by this point, the dog. Okay.
Crypto,
They
yeah.
changed the dog to fit with the stupid stuff that dumbass put in the movie.
Well, that was already changed in other books before DC. They're just following suit. Crypto was already Crypto had his own series out before this.
Yeah, but they kept him the same breed, right? As opposed to the little mangy little mutt thing that James Gunn put
and then
in the movie.
it's the same Crypto that was in the first issue.
Yeah, well, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's just they really changed anything. That's the same Crypto they had in the series all the whole entire time. But
7. Don't forget your briefcase number 3. Continuation. You find out that the woman she was working. The president has been assassinated. She is working for the Russians. This is her adopted son, I guess. And somehow, during the assassination attempt, this kid, he walked around carrying a suitcase, right?
yeah,
He was a nerd. And so he's in the White House the day that it happens. And so he gets down during the assassination, I guess not attempt, but during the assassination, and drops his suitcase. And he actually he grabbed a suitcase to leave. Turns out that he actually grabs the nuclear football from
nuclear football. Always.
from I guess the woman who was supposed to be doing it, who is this like lieutenant colonel and stuff. And so she's trying to find that's, same haircut lady from the other one, but different.
The Kate McKinnon haircut, that's what it is. From SNL.
Yeah, she's trying to get her hair, trying to get it back and all this stuff. And there's all the machinations going on. And the kid takes off because there's this thing, they chase him, and just this weird stuff. I'm going to have to, at one point, just grab all 4 of them and read them in a row, just because sometimes I'm old and I forget stuff. Now, here's one that I suspected that you were going to get, but you didn't. I think this is number 7. Armageddon number 2. This is new.
Yeah, that's from, that's the second one.
Yeah. Is this new this week?
No.
Okay.
I think that's from last week.
Okay, so that's why. So we went over that.
That's the one that takes place where she's in hell.
Yeah. So we went over that last week already.
All right. We can talk about it though. What you like about it?
I liked it. I did. I liked it. But and you don't like the cores, right? You just like the regular GL.
I did not read GL, but I did not pick it up this week. But I know in order to complete the story, I have to read it. So I'll probably read it online sometime.
So you've got the Castle of Desolate Stone. You start out with little crybaby boy. What's his name?
Crybaby boy. You talking about Guy Gardner?
No.
Sorrow?
Tom Sorrow, yeah, the
Sorrow. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I got my emotions taken away. But now there's clarity and all that stuff." And one of the guys got crash landed with these guys let him know that the Green Lantern people are coming, and they show up, and there's just a big fight.
All out war because they take the fight to their turf now,
and they're slowly getting the upper hand, and boom. Let's see. What are they?
What was a boom? What was being destroyed in the boom? Just nothing, or just a big explosion in the middle of battle? This construct's knocking out people, or did they blow up the battery lantern?
No, there's Nathan. This feels right. Oh, they I guess some of the stuff that the bad guys are supposed to have. So they that destroyed the bad guy stuff.
Yeah, the bad guys were building their own lantern, Sauron.
Yeah, so that might have been what they're doing. And so
yeah, that's why they got rid of the motion. The whole thing was to destroy their battery. So imagine that if this is the final part, they probably do that in this issue.
No, but there's one more.
Yeah,
but then they do that, and then so they're taking off to do something. They're gonna follow them and chase them and destroy the geos for forever. And then you have
she's now human now. Construct.
Yeah, but then she's like, "Hey, where's my glove? Where's my glove?" And they're like, "Well, that's not your glove."
Wait, no, that's not John Stewart's imaginary construct sister. That's actually Kid Lantern, right?
Yeah, but then you have the sisters there. But she's like, "That's not your glove. That's not your glove. It belongs to an ancient evil Malthusian who should be dead. Someone named Corona." So this sort of sounds like the whole thing they did with Guy Gardner with what did he become? He had 10 rings and he became
Guy Gardner with 10 rings? You mean to be Kyle?
No, when Hal Jordan went bad.
Oh, Hal Gordon. I think you said Guy Gardner. I thought you said that.
I might have, but
yeah, you're thinking Hal Jordan when he became dispossessed and he became Parallax.
Yeah, well, this sounds like another Parallax story.
Or something, what it was called, yeah.
But
I don't know, man. All I know is that Jeremy Adams off the book. His name's out in the next couple of issues. His name's not even on the book anymore. So I'm glad I dropped that series. That it. If I want to read the story, though, I'm sure it'll be in the trade format. I'll just buy that.
Oh, hey, we can get cheap followers.
Yep. On through Twitch. I love the Twitch bots, but
liked it. The only problem I had, that message I sent was supposed to be to my family, but I don't know why I did that. I don't think there's any Reformed Catholic churches, so that just seemed like they should pay attention a little bit more.
The whole thing with that issue though you're holding up though, like I said, Frank's back. It's not the Frank. It's not the Frank that we got with Mike Barron, or Garth Ennis, but it's interesting in the fact you're going to have Kingpin controlling the Punisher because he plants it in his mind to control him, to send pulses, and then and then we also have Tombstone involved in this. Will any other heroes be involved in this? Because it just feels like a gritty Garth Ennis Punisher.
Yeah, and it looks like there's going to be a big possible of a war going on.
Yeah. So, is that it?
Nope, we got 3 more.
All right. But I would say quickly, anybody who's gonna think about reading the Punisher, wait to get the trade. Don't buy the bag because it costs more to get the individual issues in the bag.
You should do that.
Yeah. All right. Blood Type. I did read that, but I dropped the book. Final issue.
But this is the last of it seems.
Yep. Yeah, I sold the other 3, so I didn't bother picking up the 4th one.
And it was okay. It just seemed it was a tad convoluted and stuff, and I still don't like that much. But
if you're like me, you kind of want to have another story with that character down the road sometime.
Yeah.
Because the way they leave it is kind of on a cliffhanger or something like that.
Yeah,
basically,
back where she started. Basically,
she meets her master in that issue, the one that created her, the one she betrayed, and then be using him, experimenting on him, and then so when she finds us, she fights him. They threaten to destroy this guy who basically was a descendant of this girl that she refused to turn.
Yeah,
the
whole thing that he was doing was just super convoluted. About what are they trying to become vampires or something?
He wanted the immortality. That's the last thing he got. Is so basically the girl when she was a servant there, basically Ada or whatever was basically was a servant there at that place all those years ago. She refused to turn after she got turned by the master. Ada or whatever refused to basically turn the rich girl, and she said no, the way you treat me, you don't deserve it. Like basically that.
Yeah.
And
you aren't gonna
so
get me.
yeah, pretty much that. So since then, that woman became obsessed with basically being able immortality. She wanted immortality stuff. She did so basically it was her. She could experiment. She moved to America, and then they get that kid there. His father basically wasn't a believer, but he was. So he killed his father, shot him, threw him over the boat. He took over the company, and he achieved something. Basically everything he had the healing, he had the strength and all that stuff, but he was missing the immortality to keep himself from aging. So he was going to drain her of her blood, and then they're going to experiment on that, and basically be able to become a daywalker vampire in a sense.
Wow, that's really
yeah, that's what he's hoping to do. And she's no, fuck this. And then she basically got in a fight with her master, and she killed him by holding him behind in the sun, so he burned. And then she jumped out, and she just. But at the end, though, because she fucked things up, they ended up just throwing her. The people that she rescued, though, or the black woman who were at the resort, she didn't like. They were tired of all because they remember everybody on the resort were being held hostages for the experiment on.
Yeah.
So they saw her as being just as dangerous as the other one. They decided to lock her in a safe and throw her into the ocean. And then she says, like, I've been in trickier situations, it's just they just take time. So, and it kind of leaves it on a fin, kind of like, oh my God, I hope she comes back. Because I mean, honestly.
Yeah, but it usually make it wait a while. And then.
Yeah. But so for an EC kind of book like that, I thought it was pretty decent. I just wish it wasn't 4 issues. Give me an ongoing. But what is your next book, sir?
Number 2, Batman and Robin, number 25, starting a new arc. See, it even says a new arc begins here
because he has a new costume.
Yes,
because he's now because every Batman has to be the Mad Fraction costume Batman now, as they did in Justice League as well.
Yep, I noticed that.
Yep.
Allegheny State Penitentiary.
Yeah.
You got a guy by the name of Psy. He's being released from prison. I guess he's been there for a while. They're worried that his clothes won't fit. All this stuff. So he leaves. Seems like the guard liked him because the guy says, "Yeah, Susan and I will be praying for you," and all that stuff. He goes, Fico Ocio is the artist on here. I don't know who he is, but he's new, I guess. And he goes to a grave. So somebody he cares about is dead. And then they're back to doing the old, multiple number of time things, which annoys me.
Oh, you're talking about where Batman jumps out of the plane and then soars down. They use it every time there's a Batman thing. He's soaring down like he's a skydiver. No. I'm just saying they use it every single Batman book run.
They do. Tuesday, 09/02/26:83 p.m.
Military time.
Here. Yeah. It's like, dude, why?
I don't understand the military time. I'm not in the military. Just give me normal time. I don't need 2100 or I'm like, no. But I'm saying a normal kid who's not in the military is not gonna know that.
But so they've got Super Jumper, where
he jumps out of the plane and he skydives and then he lands. It's like,
I guess we got who's that?
That trait though, that trope has been used so many times. A lot of people use that now. They jump out of the planes. I'm sure the freaking Battle of the Planets, they use that too. They jump out and they fly down. It's like, it's okay, cool, but like everyone uses it. It gets annoying after a while.
Yeah. And that's, he may or may not have been the originator. But...
Or Batman crashing down through the skylight.
Yes.
That Batman Begins.
That's getting old. That's getting really old.
The Batman Begins thing. He just crashes in
the back fucking door, like, something. Or come in through the side window.
How about drive the Batmobile through the side of the building and get out?
Just drive the thing through the front door, man.
It's a tank, man.
Start kicking ass. Make it cool. Don't have the same tired old entrance that won't scare people anymore. Like, oh, look, you're doing this again. Change it up, Sunshine. Change it up.
Yeah, sneak around, taking people one by one, zip lining, pulling them up. I love
Come in
that.
dressed as an old lady, then start beating people up. So you'll get embarrassed because some 90-year-old
I
woman.
just say this:
beats your ass.
the best version I've seen of Batman was in the Arkham games. That first game where you're just sneaking around and then you're zip lining people, pulling them up. If you're like, "What the heck?" They're just gone. I love that.
So then
Until you look up and you see everybody's just like hanging there by the force. It's like, oh shit, I'm out of here.
So Tiger Shark and Penguin are fighting for control over territory. He goes in, he takes out Tiger Shark because it's Tiger Shark is there, but Penguin's people are there, but it's not Penguin. So he and Robin are, doing it. They beat the guy, take Tiger Shark into custody, and then they go back home, and he's like, says they're looking at the city, and he says something to the effect of the blue light, the blue is Gotham light and power, the red is lights from the Triangle Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It only looks like this at this exact hour on nights when it's about to rain. First shot years ago, after one of Dick's first big wins as Robin, he was so excited and proud and happy. He said something effective: "You're as capable as a partner as I've ever had, Robin. You've earned that costume. You deserve it." Yada yada. It's like, "Oh, I'm proud of you." Yeah. So they're like, "Okay, let's go out and go to the movies. The bad guys are taken care of. Penguin's not going to do anything right now.
Yeah.
Let's go to the movies. I want to go to the movies with my son." And he's like, "Are you sure that's a good idea? Something can happen." He goes, "Nope. You go to the Monarch Theater, right? The importance of the Monarch Theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is the one that they came out of, But so they're watching it, and the Penguin is having a little machination, little meeting. Then, oddly enough,
and then, hey, look, there's Eric Breen in the chat. That's right. I think he went to go eat after his hanging out with the rest of the fossils in the museum.
Meanwhile, at the Iceberg Lounge, the guy from the beginning shows up.
Right? Hey, the guy from the beginning. I like that guy.
Oddly enough, there's a wonder why they introduced him.
Who's writing this series? Is this Josh Williamson still?
Or
who took over?
That up a second ago. I don't know.
Is that Dan Waters? I know Williamson started.
PKJ, Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Phil Kennedy Johnson. So, have you read this series from the very beginning? Like,
yes.
Does it feel like it's no different than Johnson's vision, or Williamson? Does it feel like it's?
You know what? I didn't like that last run as much because I thought it took way too long.
So you're saying that this kind of is basically, instead of being the flashy with Damian being like, kind of cheeky, tongue in cheek, does it feel like
he's still cheeky and tongue in cheek and all that, but the last one it took way too long. It's like, dude, you don't need to do everything issue thing for something that should take 5.
Every story at everything in Marvel DC since the 2000s, probably even the 90s, has basically become, we're going to do 6 to 8 issues of a story, and that's one story, and then
because they're writing for the fuking trades,
and then they sell that in like volume 1 as 6 issues. What?
Yeah, and but he shows up and he's like, tell the Penguin guys here to see him, and the guard's like, "Well, I don't know who you are,"
right?
And he's just like, "Well, I'm coming in," and they get into this big fight. And Batman and Robin or Bruce and Damian are still at the movies and all that stuff. Yeah. And basically, he's just tearing the Iceberg Lounge apart. And look what happens. And he's called the Quiet Man. It says,
"Wait, the Iceberg Lounge is on fire. Now it's Icy Hot Lounge."
Yes. And it kind of stinks. It kind of has this weird.
It smells like fish in there.
No, I was talking more of the Icy Hot.
Oh, I was gonna say it's. I mean, Iceberg Lounge. I imagine it smells like freaking nasty fish and penguins.
Now that's the brothel underneath, but that's.
Yeah.
And then number one.
That's your number one, is that? Really? Oh.
That's my number one.
Really? You don't have the other book? Oh, I thought maybe you were still reading that. Absolute Batman.
No, I stopped.
Absolute Batman. I did read today. I just didn't pick it up because I'm going to get in trades, but Absolute Batman today was the first appearance of Selena Kyle as Catwoman in the Absolute. And she has the freaking orb on her head. So she looks like Rosie or whatever her name is, from Durana, or whatever it's called. Anyway.
When you said orb, I was thinking of Mysterio.
You remember Ruby Red, whatever, the one that was from Marvel, the villain had the freaking orb.
I think so.
The body, she had a red orb, that was it, and she had a hot body, but she had no head.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It looks like that, and you put cat ears on it.
Yeah,
it looks so stupid. Anyway, though, so Bane got his revenge in the new issue, and oh my gosh, it is graphic. It is at the end of issue, I believe it's issue on 12. They're on issue, I think issue 11 or 12 this week. I can remember. But I remember just reading through it. I was just like, oh, it's just Bane wanted to get revenge. Yeah, it was issue 12 this week, and he couldn't find Bruce, couldn't find Batman. So he went to Batman's friends and he mutilated every single one of them, turned them into the villains there.
So he found out that Bruce was Batman. And
Oh yeah, well, he had Bruce's mask was off and everything. Bruce is pumped up with some kind of venom in his veins. He did that in like issue 10, I think it was. And so Bruce comes back to the Gotham City in this issue, and he discovers, he's basically. Him and Alfred decide to continue the fight, but Alfred's like, I'm concerned about it. There's stuff in your veins here. I don't know what that's for, but Bane has some sinister purpose. He goes, they see his mom. He's like, thank God you're alive. They visit. The first one they visit is basically Oswald. Oswald is in the infirmary. Bane broke every single bone in his body and basically turned him into a fat, stubby penguin. Kind of like, he doesn't look like, it basically looks like the one from the Batman series and all these short, stout stuff. Now he's basically looks like Danny DeVito's penguin.
I was just
all swollen up and just disgusting. Yeah, he went Two-Face. He turned the other dent into Two-Face, threw on the ground where they had the alley, crime alley, where they basically were where they're playing stuff. He put lighter fluid poured it on the gasoline. Put Harvey's face on the ground, dropped the match, and burned his face off. Yep, Zippo lighter. Yeah. So Harvey's now got Two-Face. He's got thing. Edward Nygma is basically, he went to Nygma's lab. Remember, Nygma was working on that computer stuff. Well, his brain's exposed. He's got two hoses going into him now. So he's basically a Riddler machine, basically, in that sense. Fucked them all up. It's just disgusting.
They're just
shocking on. This is shocking on from Scott Williams.
Let's see how far we can go with this.
Yeah,
and still have people not sit there and just say this is too much.
And he basically is approached later on by Selena Kyle at the very end. At the venue, it's just basically her first debut as Catwoman in the series. So I'm curious to see how long that book will be hot as far as for money, because it's first appearance. To me, it's a $5 book, but it's probably because it's a first appearance. It's probably $10.
Speaking of hot books,
but
books that will probably be worth a shit ton of money soon, or not, depending on, I probably have no idea how this is going to go. There's a certain book that came out this week with number one. Turns out that is the only issue of that series that is out.
Yes.
I might have to just run down to the store, pick up an issue of that, just to be that fucking type of person I despise and be a speculator and maybe get a whole.
I know, John, but yeah, you want to get the new Red Hood book.
Yes, because I have the feeling that's probably going to go. I'm not a fan of Red Hood to begin with. I didn't want to support that person anyway.
We're talking about the trans writer, basically Gretchen, whatever, the dude who has been known on Blue Sky. He's been praising all Osama bin Laden and 9/11. Basically,
cops aren't human.
Yeah, and was cheering on Charlie Kirk's death the other day and stuff. DC decided.
She said, "I hope the bullet didn't get hurt."
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, bullet didn't get all nasty, affected by his disgusting blood, whatever. Anyway, so DC decided because, well, we were going to go ahead with your Red Hood book, but they were going to realize that, the backlash, you sent out stuff, they kicked them off the book. They canceled the book. Issue 1 did come out yesterday, but after that, you ain't going to get the rest of the issues. But you know what, though? I'm good because that was a shitty version of Red Hood and a crappy version of Huntress written by a shitty person who never should have had a job. And I'm glad that the person's gone. DC, I think they put a statement out. I'm not sure. I think, but overall, it's just
it was very generic.
Yes,
saying,
but
we don't advocate this stuff, and
We'll just say this: I was shocked that DC had the balls, or even the moral intestitude, what it's called, basically, internal fortitude, the testicular fortitude, to actually say, you know what, this is wrong.
I got to give them credit for that, but the thing I give them credit for is how quick they did it within 24 hours.
Within an hour, a couple hours, yeah.
And and I don't want to be that guy, but I'm sure that because I'm not making a statement on this, but the amount of money this thing can probably be worth, and I hate speculators. I fucking hate them as much as I do.
Honestly, I wouldn't even touch that thing with who's gonna want to buy it?
Dude, have you seen some of the idiots out there?
Yeah, but I don't want them. I don't want these idiots. The people are gonna buy this book. I don't want
without reading the book.
I don't want people having these idiots having my address. So I'm not gonna buy the book and try to sell it. Did you spill? Oh no. Oh. Thought maybe he spilled his drink on his computer. That would have been horrible. But you are muted, though. You're muted.
I moved some stuff up on the top of my thing.
Oh.
And
context.
No, I cleaned off the upper shelf, and I put a picture of my mother and my dad.
Yeah.
Especially since I miss my dad now.
Of course.
And one of my aunt, who is
fighting, for life, probably.
No, she's been dead for years. She's
no longer fighting.
And it just started sliding again. I'm gonna have to take that down because but
yeah. But I'm just glad it wasn't like you spilled your drink. Like, I need a drink, then I was like,
no, my drinks I keep on this level here. You're gonna see, if it spills, it's just gonna.
You see a keyboard just smoking. Because he's.
Oh, you don't want to see how filthy my keyboard is, but
I don't put that thought in my head. That's all dust. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing else. No.
It is. But
it's okay if you type one-handed. Just don't tell me. But that's it for the week.
Yeah, but I won't tell you which arm I use.
I don't care. I'm never coming over, and I'm definitely. That's the one thing I've always had a friend. I was like,
it'll be a long trip if you decide to come over here. It's gonna be a long.
Growing up in the generation I had when computers were first being thrown into, and everybody's had stuff. I was like, with the whole introduction of porn. I'll just say this: I was a person that when my friends, I was like, I ain't touching that computer mouse. He's like, hey, you want to play a turn? No. I ain't touching that.
Let me switch into old person mode here.
Well, old person mode would be like, yeah, I'm not touching your Playboy magazine for the same reason.
Back in the day, you're going to be going into old person mode when you say back in the day. If you wanted to see porn, you had to go, my family would not have any listen.
Sears catalog?
Huh?
Sears catalog?
Well, yeah, there was a Sears catalog. But if you want to see porn, you had to go over to a friend's house and hopefully they had some there. Or you had to go to the store and buy some. In case you don't know, I don't give a fuck about a lot of stuff. I don't know if I give off.
What? I had no idea.
But my friends, I remember this. There was a convenience store. It may have been a 7-Eleven at the time. We up the street from our house.
Yeah.
And one of them wanted a Playboy or some magazine. And there was a woman behind the counter, and they're all like, oh, we want to get it, but
I guess you're the guy who didn't get a shit and just bought it.
but the guy, they're like, oh, there's a girl behind there still judges. So give me that. I walked up and said, yeah, I'll take this. She gave me a dirty look. I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, hey, have a nice day. Yeah, I don't care. It's like, hey, if she thinks I'm a perv, she might not be far off, but who cares, man?
I'd be like, I'm a perv, but you're the one that just sold it to me.
Yeah. And I think I really pissed them off because I bought it. And as I was walking out, I said, "Here, guys," and they gave me this dirty look.
Here's the thing, though. I've never been comfortable to buy anything like that because I'm like, now that person knows what I'm into, what I'm buying and stuff. I'm not a freak. I'm just saying. I just don't want. It's just awkward. It's like
you want awkward. My younger sister, she is a fan of Mel Gibson, or she was back in the day.
Okay.
And there was an interview with him in Playgirl magazine. Right? Not a pictorial, just there was an interview of him. Right? She wanted to read the interview. She did not give a fuck about the pictures at all. Didn't care. She never went into that type of stuff. I have to make that.
That's Playboy. I just want to read the articles.
Yeah, for her, it actually was reading the damn article. But of course, she couldn't. She wasn't old enough. She didn't. And she was way too embarrassed. And it was like my mother.
Well, let me guess. Being the big brother, you went and bought it for her
at a Godfather's, having dinner. She's like, I said, I'll go get it. And of course, we go over there. I go over there. They're still sitting there, and of course, there's a dude behind the counter, right? And this is the one time I'm sitting there going, fuck. I go there, and of course, what is the worst thing that I could say when I walk up there?
I would have, if I were you, I would have bought a Playboy and a Playgirl, so he doesn't know which one you're looking at.
I hadn't thought of it at the time, but what is the worst thing that I could have said when I walked up there?
Man, this sucks.
No, it's not for me, which screams, it's for me, even though it wasn't.
Well, you deny it's like
bullshit. He gave me this look like, yeah, okay, whatever.
It's for my grandma. She's a freak.
This is my sister. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. He legitimately didn't believe me and didn't care, but he was just like, I was giving him all the reasons not to believe me, even though it was true. But
I never even knew there was even a Playgirl for the longest time. I never look at the next ton of stuff.
I didn't, I knew about it. I just wasn't interested in looking at it. So, of course, my mom, she sits there, she opens it up, takes all the pictures, and just rips them out. So it's just,
Mom, you throwing those away? No, they're mine.
No, if you actually met my family and then met me, you'd be like, wait a minute, there's them, and what the hell? Why are you and all the rest of them are like this?
Well, it's because you served in the Navy and you guys got close in the Navy. That's why you guys.
My father PhD English. My mother had a degree in something really smart. Older sister was going to be a teacher. She's really smart. My older brother PhD in medieval literature. Me, my younger sister is a nurse and stuff like that. My younger brother.
And you're the one that decided to join the Navy.
Yeah, younger brother, master's degree in history, and then also is a priest, which adds another 7 years of it.
So, are you the one they dropped?
My mom must have been smoking or drinking when she was pregnant. Or maybe there's a car accident or something.
There's too much mercury in that vaccine.
There's got to be something. Maybe, I got smacked around a little bit as a kid, dropped on the head,
Yeah, you're the odd duckling out of the group.
Maybe I got that odd random chromosome that didn't get.
As they tell you later on, you're adopted.
No. If you saw my dad,
looks just like you.
Yes, my mom said that when I was a kid. She said I was. Of course, she never met him at that age, but she said I looked like a mini him. If you look at my nose, there is.
So maybe you're more like your dad, but you decided to go down the rebellious path.
Now take a look right there.
Yeah.
I look
Right,
just
yeah.
like there's no way in hell.
That's funny.
Yeah, if you look at me, you look at me and say, okay, that's
You just talks to your parents though on live on camera. No, I was kidding.
okay. Oh boy. Yeah, there's my dad doesn't care. He's dead now, so he doesn't care. But my mom, she actually admits to knowing me in public, and to being my mom. So I can't, do anything worse than she's.
Have you looked up to see if your dad's registered for any politics yet?
Huh?
Have you looked up to see if your dad's voting? Or anything?
Damn, I should do that.
Now that he's passed, to see if
now that he's dead, he's probably gonna be voting Democrat.
It's like I do that with my dad. It's like I look up, see if he's voting in an election, if he's not supposed to be. Because he's still
up in Washington State.
I still get mail from my grandfather who lived next door. He's been dead before even my dad died. Like it's been like at least about 11, 12 years for my grandfather.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Is he voting?
So far, no, that I noticed, but I still get his mail though.
Yeah.
It's just funny. It's just like stuff comes in. I get stuff from my great aunt, my dad's aunt. She's been dead a while too, and I just get to see in there because they're like the last closest. Because my grandparents live next door, so that's why they don't know the address. It's the correct address, but it's the wrong name. So they figure, they're both last name, so they send the mail here by us. Yeah. But we also get my aunt's mail because we're power attorney, so everything would come for her. And they'd always ask her, like, "Do you want to donate to the college?" Like, she can't. Because she donated to a lot of these universities around in the state and stuff. So, but yeah, crazy. But yeah, it's just funny. It's like, man, it's like I used to get stuff from my dad all the time too. It's like, oh yeah, I would really invite you to this retirement dinner. It's like he's not gonna show up. It's like
you really don't want him coming to the dinner.
If he shows up, I will be shocked.
He's not going to be all that social. I can pretty much guarantee.
I'll tell you this though, it is weird though because I go to like hardware store stuff and like they have reward stuff and it's under his name. So they're like, "What's up?" They like my dad's name. I'm like, "Yeah, it's me. Cool. Just give me rewards." Because I don't.
And the weird thing is, with my last name, we are the only ones in the, if you have my last name up here, we're the only ones up here with that last name.
Nice.
And I mean, across the country, if they have the last name, we are somehow related. And I used to think that I was the only one in the world with my name because it's a German last name. Then the Geoffrey. And I'm like, there's nobody else out there with that last name, with my name. There is one, but he spells it
differently.
The wrong way. The last name is spelled the same. I guess he's a distant cousin. But
I was just saying, just Google it. You can find like a bunch of people there.
That's the only one. It's the only other.
See, mine is the same as the pretzels. The pretzels.
Pretzels?
No. It's just the S. It's the pretzels. Snyder's pretzels.
Oh, your last name is Snyder.
Yeah, I get pretzels. Yeah, I don't care. I've already been doxxed. They put people.
It's weird though because I have a German last name, which people can't pronounce, and then my first name people mispronounce. I've been, I hated my parents for the longest time for giving me that first name because no one could, and I love it now, but so now I have both names that people mispronounce, and they said, "What's your name?" And I'm just like,
"What's your name, Tony? What's your name?" Yeah.
No, I'm just like, let me spell it for you. You're gonna ask me to spell it anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, we've been here for almost 2 hours. I guess Breed's not showing up tonight. Well, and Breed isn't buying comic books, and I know that Zach decided to hang out with Izzy. They're gonna have ice creams. The little thing I bought study.
One other thing, real quick.
Yeah.
Guess who actually got a job?
I can't hear you. You whispered.
Guess who got a job?
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Finally.
And it's not spectacular, but it's a driving for Napa, dropping stuff off Monday through Friday. I probably be getting off
part-time.
Huh?
Part-time or full-time?
Full.
All right.
and weekends off. So I might be getting off at about like 5 o'clock, which is about the time you guys start our time. So
I was gonna say, dude, like, job comes first. Get that money first, then
the way I do it, the way it's gonna work is I'll just be pulling a Zach and showing up a few minutes late.
Whatever, that's fine. Yeah. I've always said, like,
I will dump you for a woman, Hickman.
No, but I'll leave you for a Benjamin. Couple of them.
Damn Skippy. So when I'm with Benjamin, I'll be like, fuck you.
Can I have some more dead presidents, please? Hey,
fuck you, I'm out.
No, but I've always said, like it says, this, as far as the comic book stuff, if it kept going the way it was, and after I run Future State with DC, if the comic industry just kept getting worse and worse, I'd be dropping books, and they probably wouldn't be doing the top 5 or even doing the best of the week. Right. If they did it, it'd be like, and then especially with everybody being busy, Zach is engaged now. He's planning helping plan the wedding, and Breen dropped Breen comic books because he can't afford it right now. He's his situation. Yeah. And it got to the point where it was just me. I probably wouldn't do the best of the weeks. If I did the best of weeks, it'd be a video I'll upload and be like a 15-minute video.
Yeah.
And I would just show off the books. I wouldn't even really do a deep thing unless I really wanted to do individual issues or here's my top 5 of the week. But like I said, like I just for the most part, like I kind of knew eventually Tuesdays and Thursdays would probably come to an end eventually. People being busy, people working, whatever, I mean, I like talking about comic books. It's just that I don't want to do retrospectives. That's the one thing.
Also, isn't just the top 5. It's more of the.
It's a hangout.
It's a hangout, and people can enjoy it. The.
It's a hangout for you and me, and then whoever is watching in the
enjoy our semi-witty.
Although it felt like today was a hangout for you, me, and Summer and Summoner, and I think one sick dude is like listening in the background.
Hey, there's that one guy who offered us all those extra. The one guy who's an extremely good fan that Twitter did.
Oh yeah, you're talking about this guy. This guy. Yeah, the bot.
He's not a regular watcher.
No, he's just a bot.
No.
Jackson didn't pop in here. It was great to see Jackson from Whitekirk. And pretty much Breen popped in and say hello and then left real fast.
Oh, who is that? That's who is that does that? Oh, that's Miss Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, but I thought didn't Julia Childs do that too?
Yeah, there's some comedian that does that too. Female comedian, real female comedian as opposed to.
Chero Terry. I don't know. It's like there's not that many female comedians.
As opposed to Robin Williams in drag.
No, but I guess they rebooted that movie.
What?
Mrs. Doubtfire? I think they're
going to. Oh, okay. Speaking of, they're doing a new Pink Panther movie. They're going to reboot the Pink Panther.
What's up, Henry? You know what goes silent but deadly. Henry, I said, if you don't type in here, I don't know if you're watching or not. I see a couple numbers, but I don't know what it is. I appreciate you though. Sometimes hey, if you're busy and you can't type in the chat, that's cool, man. As long as you're having fun and watching,
or do it with one hand. But they are.
Hey, he uses 2 hands. He's
one finger. But yeah, they're redoing the Pink Panther movies, and guess who's going to star as Clouseau?
Is it going to be a woman?
No.
Is it going to be okay? So it's
a very well-known comedian.
Yeah, comedian. So it's a male comedian.
Yes.
So is it going to be Ryan Reynolds?
No.
He's so well-known. So I'm just trying to figure out.
Very well. One of the goats.
Steve Martin.
They already did that.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. What's the goats? Chevy Chase. I'm like, what time period are we looking at?
80s.
80s comedian. Andrew Dice Clay.
I wish. No.
Dana Carvey.
EM.
I don't know who EM is.
No, that's the initials.
Oh, Eric Matthews from I don't know. I don't know.
Why are you going to do this to me, Eddie?
I don't know, man.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Eddie Murphy. Oh.
As Clouseau.
Eddie Murphy. Did you see the last Eddie Murphy movie he did, the Beverly Hills Cop 4?
Yes.
Um,
The only good ones were the first two. The third one was okay.
yeah, but I mean, like, I always felt that Eddie Murphy was better in roles like that, and also in 48 Hours.
Yeah. But,
anything else, like, I did not like the Nutty Professor or what was the other one he did? Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion is one I didn't like either.
And
when he started doing family friendly stuff,
yeah.
I just didn't care for his stuff.
So. He was good as Donkey.
Yeah. Yes, it's on Henry. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, but I made a suggestion for a new remake with somebody for my suggestion, Jared Leto playing Shaft. So we can do that.
No.
Yes, or no. Pedro Pascal, the two greater, either him or those two, the two greatest movie stars ever. Because
honestly, I would take Pedro Pascal, and they should have made a Rockefellers movies with him, the Ghost Machine, because he looks like that character, and he doesn't have to act that much. It's the same personality as that character. Better than Reed Richards they did, but no, I'm just trying to think of like who is left that even I don't want to like. There was talk of getting a Cobra TV series based off Stallone's character.
Yeah,
the one that
do you know the history of that movie?
It was supposed to be like a Clint Eastwood movie, right? Was it?
No, there's a connection between Cobra and Beverly Hills Cop because they offered the Beverly Hills Cop role to Stallone.
Oh yeah, that back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, and he rewrote the movie because he didn't like it, and they're like, no, this is a comedy. Fuck you, no. And so they offered it to Eddie Murphy. He took it, and Cobra is what he rewrote Beverly Hills Cop.
And Cobra, even though it flopped, was a good movie.
Yeah, it was. I'm not saying it's it was bad.
I would have got thrown other than Bridget Nielsen though.
Yeah. Well, he was married to her.
I know, but it's like she was that good looking. I don't care. We'll just say she was alright in Red Sonja, but like other than that, it's like I don't care. Like, she appeared in Beverly Hills Cop. Was it number 3 or 2? 2? Yeah. I don't know. Just like I would have got somebody else as for the main. But anyway, though, they were supposed to do a TV series, but they never did that. Instead, he did Tulsa King, which is coming back. Yeah. So honestly, I know they gave Rambo
cartoon, 80s cartoon.
Yeah. Well, no. They did. He finished off Stallone finished Rambo, so Rambo is done. The franchise is done. He finally went home. And all that stuff, and I was just thinking, what else would you really want? I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger is too old to do Conan the Barbarian, but I mean, like some of these actors come back and finish their movies.
He could do King because that was what they were going to do. The third one was supposed to be King. He can do King,
but he's kind of too old. He's kind of too old to be doing King Conan.
I don't know.
But Chevy Chase should have came back and just did another Fletch movie.
Yeah, but
instead of John Hamm,
an asshole.
But
and he got branded as super racist, so you can't.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's not really many actors who come back and do movies anymore that are reprise roles. The only one I would say come back reprise his role would be, what's his name from The Critic, John Lovitz.
Yes.
Bring back The Critic and
that was a good.
Yeah. First Blood is only Rambo movie I like is First Blood, says Henry. We just reviewed First Blood. That was a fun movie. Just everything from the beginning to end. I do have a soft spot for the third one though. When he has a bow and arrow and he's taking out the helicopter with the grenades, tips, arrows.
Let's get the little yellow banner going
But yeah, I know you're getting old. It's time to leave. But anyway, though, if you guys have not clicked a like and done all that fun stuff, if you want to check out and help out the channel, you can do it by doing what Henry does, being here and supporting us, watching us live, or you can watch us in a replay. Other ways you can do it by leaving a comment on the video here, and what you got. Our good friend Wraith does that every time we do a video. He does that on here.
Wow.
The other thing if you want to do is you want to go to our Ko-Fi, which is right up here. Go to ko-fi.com/Puppetine and drop $1 in the till, and that helps us pay for everything we do on the channel here, including the StreamYard and all stuff. It really helps out. We're also on Twitch and YouTube, which is over there, Geeky Puppet Show. So if you're watching on Twitch, our main channel is YouTube. And screw you, Twitch. I'm not an affiliate. I can say YouTube as much as I want, whether you like it or not. Kick me off at Twitch. Doesn't make a difference. I'm on here on YouTube. That's our main base. Henry's asking if I have watched Longest Air Dead. No, I have not. I am been catching up with some other older TV shows and getting some movies reviews done. We just our Extreme Movie Show. Rob and I reviewed The Sorcerer from 1978, I think it was. Good movie.
Werewolf. It's a great TV show.
If you've not checked it out, Sorcerer is with Roy Scheider from Jaws. Fantastic movie. These guys have to transport these like nitroglycerin sticks across this treacherous jungle to put out up there, and along the way they come across. They had to go across this nasty rainstorm. They get caught in there. There's a bridge. It's swinging back and forth. They have to try and get across it as the boards are breaking or the weight of the trucks are driving. It is just gritty and just grimy. You feel everything. The cool fact about the movie is also the fact the actors have not slept in 3 days, so that's why they look tired and look tough, big and dirty, because they're in South America down there, in the Dominican Republic. And it is awesome. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But we'll see you on Friday, which is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for our next reading. Have a good night, guys.
Good night there, folks.
Thanks for watching.